We traveled across the country in search of a promise as old as the nation itself, the American dream.
Back in the day, American dream, okay, you have a white picket fence, a big old house, 2 kids, a dog, and then your partner. What is it now?
But as the middle class narrows, pressed thin over decades, that dream feels increasingly delicate.
Does middle class America really exist? Does it exist?
And so we set out to hear the voices, working Americans still chasing that enduring promise.
What is defined as the American dream these days, and can we still achieve it, or is it a lost cause?
On this cold winter day, 34-year-old Simone Wilkes heads out, carrying the weight of an empty pantry.
I love snow, Mommy.
Even though they were saying, stay in the house, don't drive, I said, no, I gotta go to the food bank.
How far away is the food bank?
It's about like 2 miles down.
Simone works part-time as a community outreach specialist and is raising 2 young sons.
I would drop Dyson off at school. He gotta be to school at 8:35. Then once I drop him off, I'll calm down and I'll jump in line and just wait until it's my turn.
Most weeks, the food runs out within an hour. Because she has to drop off her son at school, Simone often leaves empty-handed. But this week, she gets a break.
Dyson school was closed, so we got here directly at 8 o'clock, and it's 9:28. I never been this close before. I'm always, always all the way back there.
Every Friday, we service about 185 families every week. We're like the mailman. We're out here in all weathers. The community still has to eat.
Hopefully they have some raisins. All these pallets usually be gone when I get up here. It's very frustrating to be sitting in line for 2 hours and to only get a cabbage and a fruit juice. Because I'm thinking I'm going to get enough to feed them through the week. And we got to split a cabbage and an energy drink.
You can come here and you can see all sorts of people that need help. They just come, we love on them, and we send them home with food to feed their families.
Those are potatoes. Ooh, fresh apples, yeah. It's just heartbreaking that once you get up there, they just say, oh, this is what we have left, this is what we have left. But, I mean, I understand that they don't have enough food to feed everybody. I understand that. I'm not mad at that. I just wish I could be better, do better. So I won't have to go through this. Darling, get your hat. My hat.
Simone makes $600 a month. Her bills are piling up.
What is that time? They're so delicious, right?
You just want to be big and strong? Huh?
No, I want to be tiny.
You want to be tiny?
Yeah.
Every month, she's forced to make the same cruel choice, rent or food.
I try to maintain with what I do have, like the little job I do got. I'm so grateful for it because it could be a whole lot worse. I could not have no job, you know.
But her salary seldom reaches the end of the month.
Give me a sense of your monthly bills and how far the $600 goes each month.
Okay, so rent is $250 because I'm on Section 8. Car insurance is $200. Lights is $117. My cell phone bill, $53. Gas, $40. Food, $250. Oh, internet is $65.
So this is already about $1,000.
Yes.
So you're already about $400 short every month.
What keeps me up at night is the thought of how I'm gonna pay this bill, how I'm gonna put food on the table, and things of that nature. Just constantly, my brain just constantly going like, oh, I gotta do this in the morning, I gotta do that, I gotta pay this, I gotta pay that. Because my checks go straight to the bills,
Simone is one of the 42 million Americans relying on food benefits from SNAP. But when her benefits were cut during last year's government shutdown, she was left with only $23 for food.
I'm just grateful that I'm able to at least stay afloat and not sink. You want juice or water? Not having enough for the children. That's my biggest fear, because they should be able to eat, you know. I can go without, you know. I can't survive on water and tea, but when kids' bellies get to touching, it's a whole nother different story. And then have to explain to them why they don't have the things that other people have, because it just makes me feel like I'm not a good mom. Yeah, I'm sorry. I try not to cry, I'm trying to be brave. I just get depressed sometimes, because it just makes me feel like I'm not doing enough.
What's the American dream for you?
Having stable housing, refrigerator full of food. It's just find like one job that paid enough to help me take care of the children, put food on the table, and get off government assistance. That's my goal. I'm try my best to get there. I'm hopeful. I'm very hopeful.
And from the day I take the oath of office, we will rapidly drive prices down and make America affordable again. We're going to make it affordable again.
But as he enters his second year in office, the average American family is spending $2,000 a year more to buy the same goods and services.
Do I pay the lights or put food on the table? Do I put food on the table or do I pay the mortgage?
My dream is that I can go into a grocery store and I can buy whatever I want and I don't have to worry about paying, how I'm going to pay for it.
We're like a missing paycheck a week from not having a house. Kids don't need to know that. They don't need to know that.
Here in rural Wyoming, we meet Stacy Newton, who works as a sales rep for small local businesses.
My family is a typical American middle-class family. We're self-employed, we're in our early 50s, we have 2 teenagers, we love to ski, bike, hike, whitewater raft.
This year, Stacy's income dropped by 25%. She says the new Trump tariffs are crushing her clients. They're costing the average American household about $1,300 more this year.
I've seen prices of these products go up. I've seen the retailers buy less because things cost more and their customers are spending less. So the brands that I represent are struggling and the stores that I sell to are struggling. My income is down. Our cost of living is up. I feel like I'm kind of in a perfect storm of financial stress right now.
Her costs skyrocketed when the Obamacare tax credits expired this year.
More than 20 million Americans are now bracing for their premiums to skyrocket. Are you going to let this happen, or will you intervene?
Yeah, they will skyrocket because it was never any good.
Right now, millions of Americans are losing coverage. Millions more are paying thousands, even tens of thousands more for health insurance.
In 2025, we were paying $560 a month for our health insurance. With a deductible, it was around $11,000 a year. Well, that was affordable for us. In 2026, that same plan is going to cost $4,554.31 a month just for the premium. With a $4,000 deductible, that's close to $60,000 a year. So affordability, the math isn't mathing right now. Like, I cannot afford to pay $40,000 in taxes, $60,000 in health insurance, and not even make $140,000 total combined. I just can't.
Now, a recent diagnosis of leukemia has pushed her to the breaking point.
And I'm walking into 2026 with cancer and zero coverage. And that's terrifying. And I know I'm not alone here.
I'm gonna go from $45 a month to $660 a month for health insurance.
My boyfriend has diabetes. His deductible is $10,000. So please tell me what the definition of the American dream is.
Stacy, like millions of other Americans, can no longer afford health insurance that covers her pre-existing condition.
So if I need treatment, I'm going to have to cash pay and hope that we don't go into medical debt. It just feels like too much. I feel like we were living the American dream. You know, my husband and I both, and now I'm crying, but we both started our businesses and we worked really hard and we have beautiful kids and we contribute to our community. We pay our taxes. We follow the rules. And to be pushed in a corner right now like we are is something I never expected. Like, we're not rich. We're not poor. We are just the everyday all-American middle-class family. We didn't change, the system did. And overnight, I feel like responsible, hardworking families like mine are not going to be able to afford health insurance anymore. And quite honestly, it's been amazing being part of the American dream. And right now, I feel like I'm in an American nightmare.
We have to let DC know that this is not acceptable. Regardless of your party, we have got to help each other.
Why are so many people struggling? And I know the answer to that: greed and inflation and tariffs and all the other things. But what is the solution? Like, what can we do to come together and fix this? Because I feel like our politicians are not hearing us.
The middle class cannot spend money the way that they're supposed to spend money, which means that small businesses and Main Street are going to be hurt the most.
I got acreage, I got yard, I got a garden, I got a good dog, a wife that loves me, and 4 boys. That's the American dream.
Coming up, a journey to the heartland of America.
Come on, meat and taters. Come on. Meat and taters, come on, girl. Come up here to the cameraman. Meat and taters was born blind in April. Come on, meat and taters. Come on. Come on. Here it is.
Here in Tennessee, we met Franklin Carmack, whose family has owned this farm for decades.
5th generation farmer here in West Tennessee. We have a trucking company also that we just started to try to help us through these bad times.
He estimates losses of up to $300,000 on his crops.
2026, turning a profit is going to be as hard as it's been in 2025. Looking right now at the numbers, we're trying to figure out where we can cut and do this just to break even.
His friend and business partner, Jeffrey Daniels, has worked the land his entire life.
I knew I wanted to be a farmer when I was 5 years old. I can remember right now going outside and going in the fields with my granddad and riding on the tractor with him all day. It was just everything about it I love it. You get to spend time in the outdoors and the sceneries you see and just the independence and knowing you're doing something good for the world. It's just a good feeling inside. You know, we were always taught, you work as hard as you can, you'll be all right. And that ain't always the case.
This year, President Trump's tariffs pushed the cost of machinery and chemicals up to 15% higher, while the price of their crops steadily falls.
Most farmers are very discouraged with the whole aspect of farming right now. See, like right here is a cotton picker. Hey, you probably could have bought a new cotton picker in the 90s. I would say probably $100 grand. Now this machine right here is a little over $1 million. Our seed, our fertilizer, our chemicals, our parts, our fuel.
In the wake of this year's tariff hikes, President Trump promised farmers a $12 billion aid package. Carmack says it's not enough.
We need demand right here on our soil for U.S. products. And if I need to come to D.C. and write the policies, send Air Force One down here and I'll get on it.
Everything is expensive. I don't know how to fix it. Something is going to have to change. When she's running, it's eating diesel too. probably 200 gallons of diesel a day. You know, that's $500–600 a day in just fuel.
These farmers are no longer able to compete against the low prices offered by large corporations they call big ag.
It's your bigger companies that's making all the profits now. It's not your farmers.
Eventually, if we stay on this downward trending spiral that we're in right now, eventually it's all going to be gone, and then we're going to go into the banker and he's going to say, I'm sorry, I can't help you. We've lost all we can lose.
This would be my great-grandfather here. He come from North Carolina in the mid to late 1800s. And this is, of course, a lot of his kids in the background. And you can actually see cotton on the side of this picture. And all of these grew up on the farm, milking cows, slaughtering hogs, chopping cotton, picking cotton. Pretty much all the people in these pictures, they've walked on this same dirt that I'm walking on today.
Me and Franklin are both fifth-generation farmers, so you don't want to be the one in the family chain to break it. So that's what pushes us every day to make sure we get up and give it 125% and do the best we can to make sure that our legacy is not lost.
There are close to 2 million small farms in America, farms that are slowly being winnowed out.
It seemed like in the 90s it was 180 farmers in Lauderdale County. And today we're around 60 to 65. It's very stressful laying in the bed for 2 or 3 hours. You can't sleep, worried about, am I the one that loses it? Or what can I do to try to turn the farm around? But instead of laying there all morning, we still get up between 4 and 5 and we come push forward, trying to find an opportunity.
Me and Franklin also are co-owners of the Carmack family and the Daniels family of Fitch Inn Cotton Company.
So here's some of the shirts that we made out of the cotton grown on Carmack Family Farms and Daniels Farms. And you can go to that QR code and go to our website and actually watch us actually growing the cotton that made these shirts. So an average t-shirt's what, 15, 20 bucks? Well, the farmer's only getting right now 60-something cents out of that price.
You know, we don't require a lavish lifestyle. Like no vacations. We hadn't took a vacation in maybe 3 years. Every now and then we'll go out maybe once every 2 or 3 weeks. We cut a lot of that out, trying to just save and conserve. Luckily, we have very good families that stick by us and kind of get it.
And I get the question, well, why do you keep farming? I feel like I was put on this earth to clothe and feed the world. We continue pushing forward because somebody's got to do it. If we stop doing it, where's all this stuff going to come from?
Yeah, it's a lot more to it than people realize. You know, a lot of times us as farmers feel like we don't get our voice heard. You know, somebody else is always telling our story that really don't know much about it.
Our last stop, a middle-class suburb in Queens, New York, once home to thousands of working-class families.
When I think of Queens, I think of homes like this, streets like this, where people came thinking that they could achieve the American dream. These homes were considered affordable and accessible. And now these homes are selling in excess of $800,000.
Just down the street, we met Brian Lehman. His family has lived here in Queens for 5 generations.
You've never been here? You ever been here? You ever been in Glendale? Come on. Cheers. Brian Lehman. I'm a union steam fitter, local 638. I just turned my 22nd year in a union. Thank you for spending your little bit of time in our world.
Tell me about this neighborhood. This is where you grew up?
Right down the hill, 64th Place. My uncle had the house in 1975. That is the Lehman home where my father was raised. Homes on this block. It was my aunt and uncle, my great uncle, and my one cousin. That is my childhood home. We came here in 1979, and it was a great neighborhood. It was a great place to grow up. You knew everyone.
For many, owning a home has been a cornerstone of the American dream. Yet the cost of the average home is now almost $400,000.
My boys cannot afford to buy the home they're being raised in, and it's a problem. The middle class has been crushed, and this is us. This is Myrtle Avenue. This is life. You have Stop and Shop, late night. That was a gas station in 1980. It's kind of where I hung out. Let's go shopping. How's your day off? How was Valentine's? Mark is small business, and we do support small business. So it's the heartbeat of America. Mark's been very good to my family over the years. And when we couldn't come, he knew, he helped us. You always take care of those that take care of you. And if those that don't understand that, they've never worked for tips. Thank you, everybody. Be well. Take care. Happy spring.
He buys the weekly special, an Economy Buster freezer package.
We got this package minus the eggs, and you are looking at three small dinners. Not breakfast, not lunch, not brunch. 3 small dinners. That's it. We're all doing more with less. You don't go out to eat anymore, or as much. In the places we used to go to, we cannot. My son is 16, the other one's 11. It's unaffordable to shop. You cut where you can, and it's getting harder and harder and harder with all of the rising costs, not just food, utilities, insurance. You're working more for less. And it's not the way to live in America. It's just not. It's wrong.
Would you say that you feel you're living paycheck to paycheck?
Absolutely. I don't know anyone that's not living paycheck to paycheck. 20 years ago, if you made 100 grand, you were doing good. You had stuff. 100,000 now, you're scraping by. And you're not buying it. Forget my house. Anywhere. You're not buying a home. No one's getting ahead. No one. You're surviving. And that's not the America you should be living in.
What do you hope for your boys?
Faith. A meaningful career, not just a job. I want them to have a life that's long, prosperous, but never forget their foundation and make lifelong friends from either where you started now or where you end up. I'm hoping that the knuckleheads that run this country do this for the common good. Because the further we stay apart, you know who's in the middle? Us, the working class. Literally the working class.
Right now, it is a very scary precipice that we are on. We're in this period of time where we're like, okay, what's going to happen next? Are we going to be able to make it through this?
If people don't start becoming sympathetic to these very real economic realities, I'm afraid there won't be a future to plan for.
So what is the American dream? What is the American dream? Answer that for me, please.